time, and we couldn't be more excited and privileged to have Mr. Les Brown on a Zoom with us today. You know, we've got some really dear friends of ours that you can probably see on the Zoom if you're watching it live. You get the replay. You know, we have Adrian and Shelly from Hong Kong. Thank you so much for being here. It's nice seeing your faces in the time that we live in. You know, Carmen and Tracy, thank you for all you're doing for us. And my big sister, Nicole, from Washington State, one of the hardest hit states in the country as well. And Babette, thank you for bringing this all together, Mr. Les Brown. So, you know, if you're joining on this, you probably no doubt know Mr. Les Brown. He is world renowned. He's a mentor to millions and millions of people across the globe, from CEOs, some of the richest people in the whole globe, to business owners across the nation and across the world. His passion is to help people. And I got to tell you, it's such a blessing for you to be on tonight, Mr. Brown, because I got to be honest with you. There's probably a lot of people watching this or will watch this that, I got to be honest, they're probably a little scared, maybe a little anxiety or a lot of anxiety, stress with the world conditions. We're living in unprecedented times. And more than ever than I think any of us can think about, we need help, we need guidance, we need direction, we need encouragement, we need positivity. And, you know, most people that we see in today's world, we always spend money on our clothes, watches, belts, suits, but not as many people spend money on this, the mind, right? And the mindset and how to be prosperous in the world. And that's why we need people like you. And so we appreciate all of your books. Your new book about being hungry, man, is at the right time, man. You hit that right on point. If you all have not read this book, you're doing yourself a disservice to not get it. But I'm going to step aside because this is a bucket list moment for all of us on the call. My sister, myself, my dad, he's passed away now 3 years, spoke so highly of you. And we just thank you again for taking time out of your schedule to reach out to us.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you. You and Nicole do the same thing that I do. You have a passion just like your father to help people to get a larger vision of themselves and to inspire them to pursue their greatness. So it's an honor to be with you now. Your father is in heaven with my mother, who's baking him a sweet potato pie. And they're looking down on us right now. Let me share something. You mentioned that fear. And fear, when we look at fear, it has two levels of impact. One is listen to everything and run scared. The other is face everything and rise. So let me deal with the first one. A lot of people are listening to what's happening and they're running scared. Now, it's interesting about the media, and they don't understand the power of words. In the beginning was the word. Death and life is in the tongue. See, they should be saying that over the next month or so that 100,000 to 240,000 people will be dying. Well, they should be saying things that will serve us. Those numbers don't help us. So they should be saying that over the next month or 2 months or 6 months, we're going to be doing everything we can to save every life, to create a safe environment, because we will get through this. We've had things before. Every year, thousands of people die from heart attacks, from cancer, from traffic accidents, from tornadoes, from hurricanes. See, whatever you focus on, where focus goes, the energy flows. So a lot of people now are fearful because of the information that has been fed to them, information that disempowers them, information that affects their mindset. And so when you're operating with fear, let me give you an example. 21 years ago, I was looked at by Dr. Alfred Golson, a top oncologist at that time. He said, Mr. Brown, you have cancer. That was new territory for me. Cancer is the most feared words in 7 different languages. Those 3 words, you have cancer. People usually think of instantly in the collective thinking a death sentence. But he did something else. He said it has metastasized to 7 areas of your body, including your spine. So I said, Dr. Golson, can you give me a second opinion? And he said, yes. And you're ugly too. And we both laughed. And then while we were laughing, he said, but you got this. You got this. This does not have to defeat you. It's your call. And so what happened in that moment, he interrupted my thinking. How people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. Another friend of mine named Roland, he was in the hospital. He was suffering from pancreatic cancer. And so this first doctor told him to get his affairs in order. He said, you'll be out of here, I'm sorry to tell you, in a very short time, probably lucky 2 to 3 months. But fortunately for him, another doctor, now mind you, pancreatic cancer, another doctor came in and said, Roland, and he said, yes, and he gave him a clock. He said, this clock has no hands on it. He said, how can I tell the time? He says, this says you determine how long you're going to be here. We determine the diagnosis, God determines the prognosis. That was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And so as we look at ourselves and look at where we are, what we have to know, one of the first things, I'm going to give you some steps of what we have to do, is mental resolve. I want everybody to write this down. Booster and fortify your faith. Listen and watch things that empower you. Whatever you watch, the first thing when you get up in the morning, it affects the spirit of your day. So when I left that office, even though I was in pain from the cancer, even though I was in pain from sciatica pain, my affirmation to myself, and I want everybody to write this down, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I've lost a job before. I know what it's like not being able to pay your rent. I learned a long time ago, the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. Okay? And so there are people that are traumatized. They're losing their business. They're losing their homes. They're going into foreclosure. I lost the first house that I fought so hard for to get for my mother because I made some mistakes in the purchasing. And so people are, to a large degree, many people are traumatized. Let me share something with you. If you're going to lose something, lose your job, lose materialistic things, lose your business. But here's what you don't want to lose. Don't lose your mind.
Yep.
God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and of sound mind. You can't be in your right mind when you are afraid. You've got to have a mindset and an attitude. And I had an attitude. I said, Lord, I'm not ready to leave here yet. I've got 10 children. I'm suing the Catholic Church because the rhythm method doesn't work. I got rhythm, but it did not work. All right, come on. I got things I want to do. Help me, guide me, lead me. And so as we look at ourselves and look at our goals and dreams, when you first get up in the morning, you have to have a ritual. We're in new territory. We've never been in this place before. You can't hug anybody. You can't shake hands. You're talking about virtual hugs. Come on, I wish, social distancing. I'm trying to keep a social distance from the refrigerator. Okay? I got a 1-pack covering up 5-packs. Okay, this is interrupted my diet. Okay, and so right now we have to do things to fortify our minds. We have to feed our faith and allow our fears to starve to death. Write that down. Feed your faith and allow your fears to starve to death. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. So let's look at that. So listen to motivational messages every day and read a minimum of 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. Don't turn on the television, the tell-lie-vision, because it's going to tell you things that's sensational that will scare you out of your wits. How do you know this? Because I was so afraid. My kids came in the room to find me, said, "Daddy, we know you're up here." And they looked in the closet, I wasn't there. And I said, "I'm under the bed." They said, "What are you doing under the bed?" I said, "I'm hiding from Corona." I said, "You have lost your mind." I said, "I know. I've been watching too much television." Okay. And so what you have to also do, we got to laugh. We got to live. And we got to do what they're telling us to do. I'm not going out and exposing myself to danger, being in crowds. My son went out. I said, "Where you going?" "I'm going to see my girlfriend." So when he came back, I said, "John Leslie?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "You got to take your clothes off." He said, "Why?" I said, "I don't know who that person has been around. They say this thing is airborne. I'm dealing with 4-stage cancer, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. I can't afford to get this. So you've got to take your clothes off, and we'll put them in a plastic bag and take them and put them in the laundry." He said, "Dad, come on." I said, No. You come on, strip, do it now. This is serious. I only have one life, and I'm not going to make God work overtime. I'm not trying to get this disease. So we've got to do the things that we're being asked to do, to wash our hands, to keep our hands away from our eyes and from our mouths, and to keep distance. Not only am I keeping a good distance from people, I don't have anybody coming over to my house at all, including family members. My grandson, he wanted to come over, say, "Papa, can I come over and see you?" I said, "No, Papa, I love you, but you can't see Papa now," because little children, they say, are carriers and they show no symptoms. So at 75, I don't want to run the risk. I just saw this special, and they said on CNN and WMB, this other station, they said, what's so dangerous about this, not only is it deadly, but there are people who are carriers who infect other people, and they don't even know that they're carriers, and they show no symptoms. Okay, wow, and that's that. I heard that today. I told everybody in the house, I told my daughter and her assistant and my assistant, leave my food at the door. And when you go downstairs, call me and say it's outside the door, and I'll bring it in and eat. I'm isolated. I can't run the risk. When you have a goal, a dream, or something that you want to achieve, things will happen to you that you can't begin to imagine. This came out of nowhere. You know what I did the other day? I was talking to myself. I was online. I said, Lord, I said, I want to give an apology to 2019. 2019, I'm so sorry that I talked about you so badly, and I was so glad you were gone. Please, Lord, push delete and refresh and reset 2020. Okay, because 2019, when I look at it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Okay, we've never seen no craziness like this. They're telling me we can't go outside. I felt so claustrophobic. I said, "John Leslie, could you just drive me around the cul-de-sac?" He said, "Why, Dad? You're not going anywhere." I said, I know, but I said, I just need to get out and breathe some fresh air. They said, but they told us we're not supposed to go out. And after 9 o'clock, they will charge you you'll be charged $1,000 penalty here in Gwinnett County. I'm in Georgia. I said, wow. So I said, okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm listening to a lot of motivational messages to bolster my faith. I'm reading positive things. And here's the other thing. Not only do you want to work on your mind, but I completed my book, You've Got to Be Hungry. That book has been coming a long time. And now I know why it's out now, because it's needed now. All things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. So you want to finish looking at your life and saying, look, what are the things that I need to do that I've been putting off? We all have an expiration date. Some people are going to die from hurricanes, from tornadoes, from cancer, from car accidents. We don't know how we're going to leave here. What we want to do is live our lives like we're going to die. I remember being in Vegas at Caesar's Palace. Gladys Knight and I were married at the time. And Frank Sinatra was at the table. And I heard him say to a guy, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. And so we have to be productive now. My daughter, Dr. Ona Brown, she said, gaps are from God, that we got a gap here to work on ourselves. And I started working on my book. I'd been putting it off, and then I got stuck. And she said, give this to me. And she finished the product and got it published and uploaded to Amazon. And now it's #1 on Amazon and newly published books. And so now I'm working on getting it on the New York Times bestseller list. And I'm working on getting a 6-pack. I have 1 pack now covering up 5 packs, but there's a 6-pack coming soon, all right? So I'm eating a lot of rabbit food, and I'm walking around the house with my mask on. Oh my God, and dreaming about chicken. You know, I'm eating a plant-based diet, but I dream about chickens every night. I love chicken. I dream about chickens chasing me down the street, and I'm walking real slow so they can catch up with me, because I love fried chicken, but I can't go there because I'm not going to dig an early grave with my teeth. My goal is to be here. I'm a grandfather and I'm a great grandfather. And so at 75, I must do what I know, not what I feel. I don't feel like eating rabbit food every day. I don't feel like walking around from my living room to my kitchen and to the back area of my house 15, 17 times. But here's what I know. By moving my body, by doing push-ups, by doing qigong and yoga, that exercise strengthens my immune system. I don't feel like drinking 8 or 10 glasses of alkaline water, but it's not about what I feel, it's what I know. That if I keep my body alkaline and take the proper nutrients, and if I pray and meditate and visualize and move my body and give of myself, the greatest among you will be your servant. And so I'm encouraging people, 1, listen to things that will bolster your faith. Go on YouTube, watch Les Brown in the Georgia Dome. I'm speaking before 80,000 people. Les Brown in the Georgia Dome is called It's Not Over Till You Win. The next one, listen to and watch It's Possible. Very powerful motivational message. The other one is Getting Unstuck. That's another powerful message that's on YouTube. Another one is You Deserve. And you're going to find other motivational messages by me. I can't tell you the number of people who've approached me and saw me at events and said, Les Brown, listen, man, you don't know me. Guy said to me yesterday, he said, I was in a dark place. I was struggling. I'd lost my father, and I heard your voice. Someone sent me to YouTube to find you, and you helped me so much. You brought me out of a dark spot in my life. One lady said, I was on the verge of taking my life, And I heard you say you got to be hungry. And you said that life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. And I decided that I wanted to give him a good gift. I decided that in spite of the fact that I was in an abusive marriage, I got the courage to say to my husband at that time, I've had it. I'm out of here. And she liberated herself. And so as we listen to motivational messages, it begins to program your mind for success and position you to win and to recreate yourself and to rethink your life. This is what we have a chance to do. What do we need to do at this time? Be still and know that we will get through this. Be still and know that this has not come to stay, it has come to pass. Be still and know that Robert Schuller had a point, that tough times never last, but tough people do. You've got strong leadership, you've got a product, you've got a message of hope, and there are people that are needed. The suicide rate has spiked. It's off the hook because millions of people are losing their jobs, losing their homes, and losing their businesses. And we need messages of hope. We need people to have courage. Be of ye of good courage and stand strong and speak light, because this has not come to stay. I read this quote and I love that in life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. I thought about the fact that had I not been fired, I was in broadcasting, I was very successful, and I love radio. And because the general manager did not like me for some reason, he fired me. And Helen Keller said, when one door closes, another door opens. But most of us spend a lot of time talking about, crying about, and complaining about the closed door. We don't see the open door. Had he not fired me, and I called him years later and said, thank you, Bert Charles, for firing me. He said, you gotta be kidding. I said, I was angry at the time, but I did not know. See, there's some things that at that time, we feel they happened to us, but now I know they happened for me. And so had he not fired me, I would have never become a state legislator. Had he not fired me, I would have never produced 8 specials for public television. Had he not fired me, I'd have never earned $5 million doing a show for King World. Had he not fired me, I would have never become a motivational speaker and have spoken over 50 countries and reached over 1 billion people. He meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. And so as we look at ourselves and look at where we are, we must have the mindset, be still and know that God is in the plan. Be still and know he'll never leave you nor forsake you. Be still and know greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. That's the place that we must now live our lives from, because it's easy. Trust me on this. Listen to me, Linda. It's easy to have faith when your bills are paid, you have your health, you have money in the bank, your business is successful, your marriage is working fine, your children acting like they have good sense. Okay, it's easy to have faith then, but when life knocks on the door, be ye not just hearers of the word, but be ye also doers of the word. That's when we have to take under us the whole armor of faith, of perseverance, of patience, and persistence to work through where we are. It has not come to stay. It has come to pass. And so as we be still and go within, I spend the first 2 to 3 hours in the morning now listening to messages to empower me and remind me, because sometimes life can knock you silly. and you don't even know your name. I remember one time Life beat me up so badly, and they say, "Aren't you the motivator?" I said, "No, I don't know the motivator. That's for somebody trying to frame me. No, you got the wrong person." Life had kicked my butt. Oh my God. And that happens. All of us have our moments in the Garden of Gethsemane. All of us have those moments when we question ourselves. We ask ourselves, can I get through this? When I saw my mother take her last breath, I didn't think I could overcome that. I'm here because of two women. One gave me life, the other one gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. I remember when I was suffering from diphtheria, me and another kid, and they put us in the backyard and we sat in two chairs by ourselves. The other kids were not allowed to play with us. Diphtheria is a disease of the lungs. And Gramps was his name. He died. And I remember my mother, she adopted my brother and I, and then she adopted 5 other kids after that. She never had any children herself. And I remember Mama coming in the room and praying. As she put her hand on my head, I had a high fever. And she said, "Lord, don't take my boy from me." And she put her hand over my mouth. "Please don't take my boy from me." And she put it on my throat. "I beg you, whatever he has, give it to me. I'm strong. I can handle it, but I beg you, don't take my boy. Don't take my boy." And Dr. Johnson had given her medication that I had to have every 2 hours. And I remember her hands trembling as she gave me the medication. And the next morning when I woke up, I said, "Mama," I was able to talk. "Mama, Mama, I feel better now." And I heard her, and she could barely speak, but she said, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for not taking my boy's life." And I remember saying to myself, she didn't give birth to me, yet she was saying to God, her prayer was, "Don't take my boy, take me instead. Take it from him and put it on me." What kind of love is that? And I realized that even though kids teased me at school and said I'd been given away, I realized I was chosen with love. She didn't carry me and my twin brother for 9 months. Our birth mother said, I want my sons to be raised by somebody that won't separate them. I understand you are a good person. Will you not separate my boys? And Mama said, "No, I will promise you I won't separate them." And they said, my birth mother said, "Will you take good care of them?" And Mr. Moore said, "Your mother said, yes, I promise you." And they just stared and looked at each other in the eyes for a while. Your birth mother said, "I believe you are the one." And we were in a light blue blanket, and Mr. Moss, our godfather, said that's when our birth mother gave us to Mrs. Mamie Brown. And she followed her to the car and helped her in the car. And then she said, "You promise, you swear to God you will take care of them." And he said, your mother said with more conviction, "Yes, yes, I promise you I've never had any kids. Yes, I'll take care of these boys." And then she turned her back to the car. She hit the car with her hand and said, "Go, Mr. Moss, before I change my mind. Go!" And he slowly drove off. And my mother's life changed with that. Yes, my mother's life changed. And what we have to do right now, in the midst of this storm, say, yes, I believe. Yes, I trust that everything's going to be all right. Yes, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Yes. Yes, I don't know how. I've lost my job. I've lost my business. I don't have any money. I don't know how, but I say yes. The Lord will make a way somehow. Yes. That's the place that we must go. Not from a place of fear, but a place of trust, a place of faith, working on ourselves, planning, reinventing ourselves, upgrading our relationships. My son, John Leslie, he asked the question, as you look at yourself and look at your goals, this is the time to ask the question, who can I count on? And who should I count on? Who should I count on? And who should I count out? There are people that they're always there when they need you. But when you need them, you can't find them. You need to know that. Jim Rohn has a saying that you have to look at your relationships and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to you? Are you growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually and financially? Relationships affect you. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. And the next thing we must do is serve. I'm here because God has been so good to me. He's been so good to me. And I'm grateful. And when I talk to the two of you, that I know that you have a passion and love for helping people, it's my honor to serve you. I didn't know you before Babette called, but she said, these are good people. I said, well, I believe that God spared me from dying from cancer so I can serve them. And I'm honored to know you, to serve you and your sister. And I know that your father, who was a good man, who was a kind man, who believed, don't prejudge anybody, who believed in being kind. You know, Wayne Dyer said, if you have a choice between right and being kind, choose to be kind. Your father was a good man. He was a kind man. He lived a heart-centered life. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. And there's something else your father did that everybody on the line has in their heart. Live a life that will outlive you. That because of you and your sister answering the call, that he built a business that he can pass on to you. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. And I believe in this moment in history that we are called to be messengers of hope when there's hope in the future that gives you power in the present. Too much is given, much is required. And so it's no accident of anybody that's on this call. As much as you've chosen to be a part of this business, you were chosen to be a part of this business. You've got great leadership and integrity and a system that allows you to give people the opportunity to control their own destiny and to create financial independence and to make a difference. Doesn't get any better than that. And have some fun while you're doing it. It doesn't get any better than that. All things work together for good for those who love God, and for those who are called according to his purpose. I say to you that you've been called, and you're going to face some challenges. Will it be easy? No, but it's possible that you can get through this, and it's necessary, and it's you, and it's hard, and we can do hard. If you do what is easy, quit. If you do what is easy, allow yourself to be inundated with all the negative news. If you do what is easy, get distracted, your life will be hard. But if you do the hard stuff, stay focused, turn to each other, work on yourself, work on your dreams, hold the vision of what it is you want. I'll give you all your eyes can see. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. You have something special. You have greatness in you. It's my honor to talk to you. God bless the day where you were born. You're a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing.
Yes.
This is so amazing. You know, when I think about you, I think about the legacy.
Your picture's frozen. That beautiful face is frozen. Yes.
Okay now? Yes. When I think about you, I think about a living legacy. And that's what you are. And I think about the hope that
your voice is breaking up. I don't know what's going on, but it's got to be good because you're smiling.
Can you hear me now? Yes? Okay. What I was saying is, what you represent to all of us is a living legacy. And it is so important for us to share your message of hope, of resilience, and of faith. So I personally want to thank you for bringing hope for us and for just lending your time.
We're back.
We're back. We're back. We're
What
back.
you were saying so powerful, it overpowered the lines.
It did. It did.
Yes. Yes.
Freddie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you get on, Freddie?
No, yeah, I think we got you. I just, if this is coming through, I'm so thankful for Dad, and even though he was raised as an orphanage, in an orphanage, he had a really tough upbringing, but somehow he found a way to, even though the cards were stacked against him, to try to better himself. And he would tell Nikki and me that you were one of the people that got him through some of those tough spots in his life. He didn't always give us all the details, like you mentioned on some of your other friends and maybe family members or those that look to you for guidance. But if he wouldn't have took those steps 20 years ago, I think I want to say in the mid-90s, he saw you in Michigan. Anyway,
yeah.
We heard all about
That's
it.
where I had my office in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan, in the Penobscot building. Yes.
And so Dad said, Dad started to try to impart these things in us. Little did we know that we would be able to inherit his business and actually try to champion that message of positivity and attitude is everything, and empowerment. And but we don't have it figured out. We need the information from you. So thank you for all the time tonight.
Oh, you've done an incredible job. Well, here's what. Everybody that orders my book on Amazon, I'm gonna send you a roll of toilet paper. Absolutely free.
Oh my gosh. Well, Freddie, we got a roll of toilet paper coming to us.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Free roll of toilet paper. Okay, all right. I'm just saying, all right.
I love it. I love
You
it.
got to laugh. I saw this thing that said, this meme that said, God's so upset with how things are going down here. He said, everybody go to your room. It's a timeout.
It's so true. You know,
Yes.
Mr. Brown, there's something that you talk about, which is OQP.
Only quality people. Yes. One goose can fly 75% further in formation with other geese than can ever fly by themselves. This is no time to be solo. You want to select people in your life because of their integrity, because of their character, because of their commitment, and their willingness to be coachable, to follow a system. The system works if you work it. And if they're coachable and they're willing to follow the leadership, what they can create, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is it in the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. The 40-40 plan is gone, where you can go to college, get a lot of debt, and graduate and get a job and work for 40 years and retire on 40%, which wasn't enough in the first place. That day is gone. There's no such thing as job security. Over 20,000 people before the coronavirus were losing their jobs, according to the Department of Labor, to artificial intelligence and cheap labor abroad. Now we're in another place where we've never been before. However, Simba, you're more than that which you have become. We are more than that which we have become. And we must know that and remind ourselves. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself, and we have to encourage each other. And no, this has not come to stay. It has come to pass. We will get through this, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets. You're going to make it.
Love it. Love it. You know what I just thought about? You know what would be wonderful is, I know you have a lot of projects. If you wrote a couple children's books and had
That's so
them,
good.
I would listen to it at night.
Well, thank you so much. I will do that. Thank you. Very good. I will do that. Yes, because I have children and I have 4 great grandsons and 15 grandchildren. So I will do that. It's time for me to do that. Thank you so much. Yes.
I love that. And you know, everybody that is on this call with us, Mr. Brown, it is the power of connection. It's the power of the human spirit. It's the power of, we have on this call 2 individuals from Hong Kong. Shelly, who has a passion for helping the earth. She loves yoga. She's into healthy eating. We have Adrian, who's a professional cook. He's a chef. He's worked with Jamie Oliver. He will even write a recipe for you if you tell him your favorite meal.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
You know, I love sauteed broccoli and mushrooms and broccolini and cabbage and spinach.
I'm on it. I'm gonna
All
send
right.
you a beautiful recipe.
Yeah, but y'all got to send me some products too, because my commitment to myself during this time that we're down is to get cancer out of my life, for it to be history. And I believe with your prayers and my discipline to eat, to live, not live to eat, and with God's grace and mercy, that I can make, with these collective positive efforts, history, cancer history in my life. And I'm asking everybody that's on this call to pray. I believe in the power of prayer, and see me being free of cancer, and give thanks now. Say, I give thanks that Les Brown is free of cancer. And I believe that this is the time that I am supposed to be here. And the reason that the book is out now is there are people who need this book. they need it to help them to weather what's going on now in their lives. And I just thank God every day for people like yourselves that's giving me the opportunity to speak to people. And anytime that I can serve you, I'm here for you.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I'm so excited. This is
Thank you.
this is amazing. We officially are going to be launching a book club, and you'll be the first book that we read as a group, and I will personally send you feedback of what everybody says. So we're excited.
Oh yes. And send some reviews to Amazon, all right? And in the meantime, hook a brother up with some products. Send me the products.
We can do that. I know where to get some.
All right, Hook, all right. I know you do. So send me a lot of product. I love the product. I've been using them. It's quite an experience when you first get started, if you understand what I mean.
I do understand what you mean. You might need to use what you're dabbing your face with.
That's right. Oh, let me tell you something. I was on stage talking and I had drank them. And I'm a person, if you say take one pouch, I'll take 3. So I'm on stage about to do my piece on You Gotta Be Hungry. And all of a sudden my body said, you know what? You're not gonna be able to hold this back. You better tiptoe off this stage. And I said, I want you to talk to at least 3 people and tell them you're hungry. And I'm gonna just take a little break right now. And I took little baby steps off the stage. Oh my God, that tea will teach you respect. Oh my God. They said, where you going? I said, tell me where the bathroom is, please. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for you and your brother and your father. Thank you so much. I hope I've been of service to you this evening.
You have.
Thank you.
You have. And we are just so blessed. I mean, Carmen, you know, she had a plan B, but now it became her plan A. And she's phenomenal. She's from Indianapolis. And you know what, Mr. Brown? I just want Adrian to share just something. It spoke to my heart, and I know it'll speak to yours, and I know that you've heard it a million times, but I want you to hear this again. Adrian?
Yeah. Hey, Les. It's so
Hey,
good
Adrian.
to meet you. How are we
Pleasure.
doing?
Great, thank you.
So, through the Power Connection, I think this is quite wonderful. I was introduced to Nicole maybe 3 weeks ago, and I'm starting out in this journey. And times are not easy. You know, I lost my job maybe 6 weeks ago now. But I was talking to a friend of mine about this meeting today. And I was just saying who you are. And he said, that's incredible. And he stepped back a bit, and he was taken aback by this. And I said, why? What's the connection? And he said he was going through a very difficult part of his life about 5 years ago. He was basically at the bottom of his bottom, and he found your name on the Google and YouTube. So he said you were the guide that brought him back basically from the depths of the darkest part of his life. And
Wow.
he's doing incredible now. I mean, that's the power of communication and the circle of life, right? I mean, that gives a lot of faith.
Yes.
So thank you so much. He's a wonderful guy. You know, you really, you know, to put it bluntly, he pretty much said you saved his life.
You know what I'd like to do?
Yeah.
Would you give Nicole his number? And I want to
Sure.
surprise him, and don't let him know. And I'm going to surprise
wow.
him and call
Wow.
him. Would you do that?
Sure. Wow,
Okay.
that will blow him away, man. That's
Okay,
that's
fantastic.
incredible.
Okay, well,
Wow.
thank you so much. Yes, to God be the glory. I
Hey, my daughter
appreciate
wants
you.
to say hi.
Let me say, all right. What's her name?
Hello.
Orla.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Great. What is your name?
Orla.
Orla. All right. Pleased to meet you. Where are you guys? Where are you?
We're in Hong Kong.
Oh, you're in Hong Kong. Okay, I've been to Hong Kong. I'd like to come there via the internet. Okay, excellent.
We've
Oh
got some
boy.
toilet roll we can give you.
Okay, all right. You can hook me up. Oh, very good. Thank you so much. God bless
Thank you so much.
Don't forget to give the number to Nicole. I'm going to call it. I don't have anything else to do, so I'm going to call. I want to bless as many people as I possibly can.
You know, Ms. And I know that you've heard it many times. It was just important, and it was on my heart that I wanted you to hear that again, to
Yes.
edify how important you are to us, to all of us.
Thank you.
You know, and then Tracy, the part of connection of we met in Sicily, and we talked to you last Friday about our newly launched 501c3, that empowerment for the military spouse community. So we will be working with you later on, so that way you can come into our community and bless us in a different way.
It'll be my pleasure to do that. My twin brother spent 26 years in the military, so it'll be my pleasure. And I look forward to serving you in that area as well.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
I want to thank you for everything. Does anybody else of this amazing global team have anything else to say to Mr. Brown for sharing his words of kindness and wisdom and legacy?
Hi, yes, Mr. Brown, this is Tracy, and we spoke on the phone on the Zoom last week, and I just really want to thank you for all that you've done for each of us on this call, and for everyone that's listening out there, and every life that you've touched around the world for so many years. We are praying for you. We are so thankful for you. And, you know, we are all blessed to be a blessing, and you are absolutely a blessing. And all of our connections and timing is so perfect. And it couldn't be more evident than today with your book coming out, which we are blasting out. We
Thank
have the
you.
link for anyone that's watching us here or will watch it on replay. We have a link in the event. Nicole, if you don't mind holding up the book so that everyone can see the book that will bless you. It will speak to you. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
You've got to be hungry. Correct.
Yes. Yes, and on Amazon.
More about that?
Yes, it's really about the struggles I went through and how I got through them, and how a person can go into an area of uncharted waters and come out victoriously. How to build special relationships, collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships, and how to ignite the hunger. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry, they work on themselves. They understand the words of Earl Nightingale, that you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And so this book, which is the best work I've ever done, and I wondered why it took so long to get it out. And I realize now it's time. People need it now. And I encourage you to get it for yourself and people you care about. And I guarantee you, it will change your life. People love my book, Live Your Dreams. I believe this is 100 times stronger. It's going to take you to another level.
Well, the timing is perfect, for sure.
Yes.
It is perfect. And we are going to do our part to help you get on that bestseller list.
Oh,
because
thank you so
everyone
much.
needs to read this book and just get immersed in it and use this time wisely.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, they said if I'm able to sell 5,000 within 48 hours, it can hit the New York Times bestseller list. So if they go to Amazon.com and put in "You've Got to Be Hungry" by Les Brown, or come up and purchase it, I believe we can get there. I know we will.
We're going to claim it.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to claim it. Call forth those things that be not as though they were. So,
Thank you.
Nicole,
Yes, young man.
I want to thank y'all so much. You making a 75-year young man feel good. Let the record show.
That's
And I'm looking forward to working with y'all. And I'll just let your brother and all your group know I'm here for you. Anytime I can be of service to you, I'm here for you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so much.
Les. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right, keep them in your prayers. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, you too. God
Good night.
bless
Thanks
you.
so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
God bless. Thank
God
you.
bless.
Yes. Keep your toilet paper close to you. Keep it close.
Oh my God.
I'll be getting an extra roll because I'm going to go get that book right now.
Yes, okay.
Nice to see you again, Mr. Brown.
Oh, thank you
It was
so much.
so lovely meeting you and your daughter in Singapore. So it's really nice to connect again.
Oh, thank you. And I love your hairstyle. It's so snazzy.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all take care. God bless.
All right. Good night.
Good night.